Well, here it is. You asked for it. It took us a little bit, but now we're gonna do it. Today we're doing a farm tour of Fuller Farms. Welcome to our home.
Yeah.
So we're standing at the front gate right here. This is our road, comes down from the main road. This is our front gate. Now, we own both sides of this, so we own all the way down to about right here where this main tree line starts. And the end of our property is down here where this tree line is. And so we got all of the main area. We got all of the main area of our front pasture mowed down, and I'm still working on this side. So let's we're gonna take the truck. So we're gonna be driving around in the truck today because it's a lot to walk around. It's hot. Bailey's a bit pregnant, if you can't tell. So it's not good for her to be walking around all over the place. The dogs, they've followed us down here, so I'm gonna let them follow us back. And check this little guy out. Little girl out.
She's a new member of our family.
This little one showed up today. She walked up to the property yesterday as I was mowing, and the dog, Bew and Bella, scared her off. But I found her this morning, and she came up to the house, and well, I mean, she was obviously dumped out here. She's the sweetest little dog ever. I'm pretty sure she's a lab pit mix. Sweetest little dog ever. She loves Bailey. So we slapped a collar on her, and we're gonna collar ours. So let's hop in the truck. We're gonna drive up the road, and we'll kind of go north to south, I guess. We'll start over here in this north pasture. We're just gonna take a little bit and kind of just show you all the pastures and give some of our plans for what we might want to do with it. All right, so we're standing now at what we're calling the crossroads, because on our property we have two roads that run through it, and they're private roads. They used to be used for the oil wells. We have one that comes from our front gate down there, runs all the way the length of the property east to west, and there's another gate down there that stays closed. And then we have a second road that runs from the south side of our property and runs all the way up over to the north side of our property. So right here where I'm standing is where they intersect, and you can obviously see the main driveway that goes around to the house. We're gonna take a walk up here into what we call the north pasture. We call it the north pasture because, well, it's north. And this is a nice little area over here. There's one main pasture that's fully fenced in, and then they have two small little paddocks right here at the front of it. And then the east side of this little path here is all woods. We have I think it's about 8 acres. It's between 6 and 8 acres of just wooded area that has been undeveloped, which is nice. It gives us some options of things we'll want to do later on. So right here we have this little pathway that goes out to our north paddock. And then you can see these two little gates on either side. I haven't gotten in there to mow yet. But there's these small little catch pen paddocks on either side. I'm not quite sure yet on how big they are as far as like if they're a quarter acre. They seem like they're probably a quarter acre. And then out here, this is our north pasture, and we've been working on mowing it, and I haven't fully got it finished. Obviously there's still a lot that I have to do over here and in between the trees, but we got the main part of it done here. And this is kind of the plans that I had for this area is once we're able to be raising more pigs, this would make a great area to use to test the Joe Salatin pig raising method, because we have 5 acres. This is almost exactly 5-acre pasture right here. So this would be perfect to raise a round of 50 pigs and use the 10 paddock rotation method. We might try it out. Some other good things that we could do out here if we can get the grass growing nicely is this would be a great pasture to hay, or to grow a big patch of some crop or something like that if we wanted to do a big corn patch and do a corn maze or something. Eventually, we would like to bring kind of an agritourism aspect to Fuller Farms to let people come out and experience what farm life is and kind of do some of those Halloween holiday seasonal type of things. So this paddock here stretches all the way out to the front road, and that's where we were at just a minute ago, and you saw the front side of this paddock. Great pasture. I'm really excited for what what's the word?
What is to come?
No, potential. I'm really excited for what potential this pasture has. All right, let's hop in the truck and we're gonna head. We'll just head up to the east gate and then we'll come back around, because there's not a whole lot to see in the pastures, especially on what we're considering the back pasture. I haven't got it mowed yet, and there's just really not a whole lot going on back there. Whew, we are doing this in like the middle of the heat of the day. All right, so now we're at the furthest road going east. Yeah, east. So this is the front side of that wooded area that I was telling you about, and it runs back. If I'm remembering correctly, it runs back this way about. It's either 100 yards or 100 feet. I know that's a big difference, but I think it's 100 yards. This, like I said, this is about between 6 and 8 acres of just wooded area right here. And then just to the south of us, this is the back section of our back pasture. So we've split up. We have 3 main pasture systems out here and what we're developing. So, and we're using the crossroad to kind of break that up. So we have the north pasture, just, everything north of this main road that goes back down to the gate. So this is north pasture, and you have the main pasture up there, but then we also have the wooded area. And then we're saying everything on the road frontage up there in front of the house is our front pasture, and everything behind that main driveway behind the house is the back pasture. So 3 main pasture systems. And I haven't gotten out here and mowed yet at all, but you can just see the potential out here. It's beautiful. It has it runs along this back tree line. We have a few other trees that are sitting out here kind of that will give us good shade spots as we split this pasture up into a rotational grazing system in the future. Now, what are we planning on running out here in the near future? Not much. We don't plan much for this back pasture yet. I want to get it mowed down. We'll kind of get it maintained. I have to fix all this fencing. We want to get cows. Eventually we will get cows. We'll be on a bigger rotation system with the chickens and the pigs. We have a few areas we want these first pigs to be working on. But for all these big pastures and stuff, well, I need to come and fix all this fencing. We have a lot of this poly tape that the previous owner had done, and it's not very well maintained. All of these T-posts that are put in, they're good. We're gonna keep the perimeters of all of the pastures intact. And then we'll just run poly wire and movable fencing in between the pastures. But once we kind of get to a point where we can really focus on these perimeter fences, we'll do that, and then we'll start looking at cows hopefully next year. So I'm just gonna walk up this way a little bit. She's gonna grab the truck and bring it up here. I just wanted to get a better shot up here. Look at those little puppies. So I think me and Bailey are fighting about what we're gonna name this dog. I've always wanted to name a dog DOG. So that's what I'm calling this one. DOG or Doji. She's calling her Ollie. It's a girl dog. Ollie's a cute name, but I want a DOG. So maybe we'll just have two names for it. Okay, so I wanted to show you these guys. You can see this this carport right there. Originally when we moved in, we had 6 24-foot by 12-foot carports, and where there was one in each pasture. I sold one of them. My mailman came and asked me if he could purchase one, so I sold it to him. So we now have 5 of those carports, and I'm still not really that sure what we're going to be doing with them, but we'll figure out something. So we're going to drive around down to the house area, and then we'll go through. Yeah, she's right behind us. We're gonna drive over to the house area, and then we will go through each of kind of like our barns and what our plans are for those. And we have this down tree right here and another one that needs to come down. Those are big jobs. I can't do those by myself. So once we get a chance that we can get some friends and family out here to help me cut that down, we'll get it down. For now, it'll lay in the pasture. This is another pasture we're not really doing a whole lot in right now. Okay, so now we're passing. This is our house and our garage. We'll go through those later. We're making our way out to the end over here. We have an old woodshed, and my original plan was that I was going to make that my actual tool shed and keep all my tools organized in there. We'll see if that happens. We've talked about it before, our brooder barn, and we have 2 other barns over here, so we can stop here and then just walk. So we've talked about it before. This is our brooder barn, or what we're calling the brooder barn. It is a 30-foot by, it looks like maybe 20 foot. I think it's 20 or 18 foot. It's 30 foot by 18 foot. It has a enclosed garage area on the back, 10 foot of it maybe. And the previous owners, I'm gonna keep saying that the previous owners, because everything right now that's done is mostly the previous owners, put all of these gates up in here, these little fence gates in here, and then a couple dog houses, and then they sectioned off outside little paddocks, little small ones, with hog paneling. They kept goats in here. We're planning on keeping our baby pigs in here for the first couple weeks until they get, settle this area. I'm gonna use this area, maybe fence off a little bit more around the back to use for training to electric netting or electric fencing. And I'm gonna let them kind of eat down all of this overgrowth and stuff that is here. And then, you can't see anything in here. There we go. So this is just a, little enclosed garage space. It has a roll down door. I want to put a chick brooder box in here. I want to do 2 5-foot by 5-foot brooder stalls. Yeah, but we need to have electricity out here. We don't have electricity out here yet. All right, so I saw this earlier whenever I came. Check out the little baby birds. They're hungry, so they think that mom is coming, and they're opening their mouth to get some food. We're not giving them any food. I'm not touching them. I'm leaving them where they're at. Okay, so then just walking around the outside of this. Yeah? You okay? Just walking around the outside of this, you can see they had an old canopy in here. The top is blown off of it. That stuff, I'll take that stuff out. There's some feed bowls, water bowls, and some chicken wire and stuff that's laying down in the bottom. I'll get all that stuff out, but I'm gonna let the pigs kind of get all the overgrowth down as much as they will. And it's the back of it, and right here you can see kind of how they had the T-post. I might go ahead and enclose this area in. This is a pretty good sized area for a couple pigs. So I was thinking if we enclose this whole area back up to the garage here and use this area for our electric fence training, I think that would be a good spot. Once again, we're gonna need to get electricity out here for that to happen. But hopefully for the electrical training, I can use our solar battery charger that we're gonna use whenever we get them out into the fields. And if you can see the campers behind me, I had a video that we sold that, and it is sold. They just haven't come to pick it up yet. So we're waiting for that thing to go away so we can clean up that area. The shed we're in now, you've seen it in a lot of the previous videos. This is our tractor shed. No, this is not the tractor that y'all have seen me in. My tractor that we got is in the shop already. I know it had a recall issue. And it's getting fixed, but the dealer was awesome enough to give me this loaner. It doesn't have a cab on it, but it's kind of nice because I can compare it's the same tractor, so without, cab or without a cab. So it's kind of cool to be able to compare the cab versus non-cab tractor out here in Texas. What I've learned is that I cannot work in the heat of the day with this open cab tractor. I have to wait till later in the evening. So this tractor shed right here is exactly that. We're using it as our tractor shed for now. We still got dirt floors, and that's okay. We're keeping all of our implements and things under here. I want to keep everything as nice as we can. We have it, it's clean, nice and new right now. I want to be able to keep it that way for as long as possible. So we're keeping it under cover, or keep it out of the rain like you saw happening on Wednesday. Okay, right here, this area, really overgrown. We have another one of the carports. This one here is 12 foot by 30 foot. It's a little bit bigger than the rest of them. But this area they had hog paneled in, and they were keeping cooney pigs. Now they were doing a feedlot style of pig, just keeping them in one spot, which caused a lot of bramble regrowth. So I've kind of mowed just a couple patches in here, but you can see all of this this weedy, bramble, sticky stuff that has grown back up in here, and that's a direct cause of overgrazing or keeping animals on one spot for too long. This is exactly what happens if you keep animals in one feedlot style area and then take them off and let that area grow back up. That's what you get. It doesn't grow back up as nice grass. And you can see nice grass. There's been no animals here. Animals were here their entire lives. It's horrible ground because there's no nutrients in the soil anymore. Okay, so then here we've showed it to a couple of friends as they've come out. This here is it's an 18-wheeler trailer that has been taken off the trailer, set on the ground, framed a door on, framed a roof on, and has been turned into a feed stall or a feed barn. They put some shelves up here, some hooks on the wall. So this was used as a tack room. Even has electricity wired in here. Now I don't know if it doesn't turn any lights on, but there's also no lights in here. So we'll have to see what's up with that outlet. But this was used as a tack room and feed storage. We're gonna use it for the same thing. We're gonna use it for our feed storage for now, for our pigs and chickens as we get them. So this is the last building on the property going to the south. If you come around this feed barn, you hit our property line fence right here. We have another gate, and then just kind of like an open field, little pasture area. This isn't very big at all. This area right here is just a little bit bigger than like a normal residential lot. So no clue what we're going to be doing in this area. We might end up fencing it back in to the front pasture, just because we have nothing else, no other reason for it. And the last building to look at on this little stretch is our 3-sided barn. We're keeping a couple boats in here. These aren't our boats, they're our family's boats. But we're keeping a couple storage boats in here, some pallets and whatnot. Don't have a whole lot of plans for this yet. It would make a great hay storage, but we're not doing hay, we're not bringing on hay. So it's just a great barn to cover those boats for right now. There's an old metal shed right there. We'll probably end up just taking it down because it's starting to fall down. We have another carport out here. This is just the other half of our back pasture. This back here is approximately about 16 acres of actual fenced in area. And the last thing that we're going to show you on this side is this area right here. This is a grate. It's about 50 foot wide from the road to the fence, and it's a couple 100 feet long. Our plan right here is to have a fruit tree orchard. So we're gonna plant 2 rows of fruit trees, various types. We'll see what works with what around here. And we're gonna run our egg laying chickens through the middle rows of those fruit trees. They'll let them, pick up all of anything that falls down from the trees, and then just, keep that soil and everything really nice and fertile. All right, so we have 2 last things to show you on this farm tour. We're gonna head over there and we'll wrap this up. All right, so now we're just behind all of the barns and the road. So there's all the barns, the road's right in front of it, and our house is down right here. So we have this little lean-to shed right here, which is a pretty cool little shed. It would be great to make a couple stalls in for holding any animals, and also down the road, we want to have a milk cow. So down the road, whenever we find it feasible that we can, take on that responsibility, this would be a great spot to have a milking station, because it's only a few feet away from the house. So we would walk out our door here, walk right over here. There's a door over here, have a milking station in here. This area right here, we have panels for that creates a movable round pen, just, right here in front of the shed. And then we have an actual, like an old wooden built round pen right here. It's pretty neat. Now, is there a whole lot of use for it if we're not doing horses? I would say no, not really. And it's really overgrown in here right now. Another great place for the pigs to maybe go and clean up some stuff, because I can't get my mower in there. The opening to the door is just a little bit too narrow. But we have considered, if once we bring in cattle and stuff, we could put them in this area, kind of let them get settled before we let them out into the pastures. So that's an idea. And then this area right here, Miss Bailey stomped her foot the other day and said she wants gardens right here. So that's what we're gonna do. We mowed out this whole area. Right here is about a ½ acre. And this would make a really great market style garden area. We're gonna be doing, we started, we did plant starts. We planted seeds in pots just the other day. And we're gonna let them germinate and see, we're gonna try our luck this fall at a fall garden out here. We'll see how it works. We're gonna use the pigs to till up a little bit of an area, use the tractor and tiller to till up a little bit of an area, and just kind of compare. So now we are back behind this lean-to shed. They have some little chicken fencing. I think that they had their chicken coops and stuff over here. I'm just gonna tear all that out because we don't need it, and then incorporate that area back into the front pasture here. So we're out here again on the back side of the front pasture. The road is right over on this side. And right up here, as Bailey gets up over the hill, we have a really nice pond over here. And the dogs are gonna immediately go and jump into it because they love it.
It's nice and high after all the rain that we've had.
Yeah. So a really nice pond out here. We have some bass fish out here. There's some little perch.
Let's see if she gets in.
Is she gonna do it?
Remember, it's her first day with us.
She sees the other dogs in the water. She wants to get in.
We think she's part lab, so hopefully that helps her love water.
Great pond to come cool off in. So it's really grassy and a lot of pond grass or algae or moss growth going on. I got a tip from Tim over at Ridge Life. He told me to get grass carp. So grass carp will eat the grass and stuff that's growing inside of the pond and help clean it up. So we're gonna do grass carp and we're gonna get ducks.
And the grass carp, he also said that they're not like predatorial. So if there's other fish in there, as long as the grass carp gets big enough to survive, they won't bother other fish with the pond being stocked, and the other fish probably won't bother them either.
Yeah, so we'll try them out. He said that they have a lifespan of about 10 years. So I'm thinking that for a pond this size, I'm thinking that we get like 10 and put them out there just in case any of them die or have issues. So really great pond. I like to come out here and throw a fishing line out in the water every now and then. I need to work on getting all of this side grass growth cleaned up, because the water does, I mean, whenever it gets really high, the water comes up to about right here. So, and it's hard to throw a fishing line out there and it gets snagged on this grass. So we'll get that cleaned up, and I bet this will be looking really nice. I don't know how deep it is. I need to just toughen up one day and walk out there. So that's our pond. Here's the other side of our front pasture, the trees that I was working around the other day. I told y'all that I was gonna show y'all after we got all of this cut down. And I'm not gonna walk way over there, but we did get it cut down and it is really nice. So here's the other side of the front pasture that I was working on. And then I got up under these trees to a point, like I can't get my tractor all the way up next to the trees to cut down everything under these low-hanging limbs. But I got as close to all of them as I could, and it looks really nice through there. So give us a little bit longer of, you know, some good tree trimming and working around all that area. It'll look really nice. Give us a lot of good pasture, more grass growth to feed animals. All right, guys. Well, that is the Fuller Farms tour. We've talked about every pasture, kind of our plans for each of them. Showed you our cool things like the pond and all of our buildings. Put the drone up in the air, show you a little bit of overview of all of it. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you have any questions, want to see something else in more detail, send us a message, let us know. We can make more videos about it in the future. We're really excited to see, I mean, this is the bare bones start. All this grass is really high, we're just mowing stuff, and just mowing, that's it.
Yeah.
Made a huge change in what this property looks like already. You saw the back pasture, and I'm pointing over here like you can see my hand. You saw the back pasture and how it's still really overgrown. You can't really get back in there versus the front pasture that has been completely mowed. It looks really nice. So we're not going for all looks, we're going for function, but all of the weeds and stuff, just they need to go. And since we're not going to be getting cows or really animals that are really good at mowing weeds and stuff down anytime soon, it's best just to get it all mowed now. But let us know if there's anything you'd like to see more in detail, things that we can make videos about in the future. We're excited to see that, you know, this is the very start of Fuller Farms and us starting to get this land and property to the point that we want it. I'll be excited to see what it looks like in, you know, even a year or two.
Yeah.
Even a couple months at this rate, it'll look different than it does now. So this is the summer 2020 Fuller Farms tour. Let's do another one next year.
Okay.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.